Welcome everybody to Road America. It's been a minute since we've been at this track. It's a brilliant track. It's the square version as well, so it's the short Road America, which has been that's different, a while since it's been here. Great to see that bug still here in the game, where the car spawns right in front of you out of nowhere. Oh dear me, we have lost a fair few positions now thanks to that, but no harm, no foul. It is what it is, and I think turn 1 is claiming a few lives right now. So that is 2 places gained by the looks of it. Maybe, yep, 3 now as we overtake the car on the right side. I am running the Lexus. It is one of the faster GT cars, although it is a bit of a beast to handle at the same time. It is very tailor happy. Lord Abilla up in front in the Ferrari. The Ferrari is also actually very quick. But Lord Brilla has a weird issue. I think they have a network issue or something like that, because yep, they spawn around all over the place and ghost randomly. So it does become quite interesting with that driver themselves. I think another person has had their life ruined, and we're gaining on our position. So yeah, although we didn't have the best of start, we are working our way back through the pack, to be fair. Not really going like that. It is a medium length race. I have chosen to go on the hard tyre strategy, and then we're going to pit towards the end of the race, and I'm going to decide, depending on how long these tyres last, what tyres we should go for. Coming around this corner now, we did see Lord Billa have a bit of an issue again. I wonder if they're having poor network, or there is a network issue at my end maybe, although it doesn't say poor network. It only seemed to affect that one car, and so yeah, I can only presume they have poor network. Anyway, we are in position 15. We're not doing too bad, although the cars in front are getting away a little bit. I've had to have a little bit of downforce put on the rear of this car just to try and keep the back end on the ground, especially in these lower speed corners where it did just want to do donuts all day long. Another life claimed through there, and we are now in position 14. Position 12. We're working our way through slowly. It's just one long train at the minute. You have a look at the map, and there's us, and then there's about 4 cars up ahead. Coming down to lap 7, we are trying to make a move on Lord Billa up in front. We have been playing past the parcel back and forth with each other, while other cars have joined in and left too. We are in position 9, so that is a great place to be. Look at the inside, and then I ultimately back out, get a little bit of touchy-feely from the car behind, who's also trying to look for that place to get through. I am a bit cautious about Lord Billa. It's actually quite hard to overtake a car that you know has poor network. You're really trying to sit there and think, if I go and put myself in this position and something funky happens, will I survive? And that is a question that we all have in our heads just on a normal racing car. Never mind the person that has poor network, who possibly has no clue that you are there, or does have a clue that you are there, don't care. So we have no idea what's going on, but we are having a nice old drag race with Lord Billa to our left hand side. Ferrari did try to squeeze through, but we kept them at bay. Coming over here, looking out for the 400 meter marker. Oh, a bit of funkiness already. That's not what I want to see. Aye. Bit of apex syndrome there, or technically to them on their screen, I may have not been up the inside. I have seen it before where somebody has had poor network, and or I've had poor network, and they've said that I've hit them or they've hit me, and I said no, that wasn't the case, I was nowhere near you. And they go, well, here's a clip, and I go, well, here's my clip, and then we're all like sat there going, oh. So sometimes where an incident like that happens, and especially when you know someone's got poor network, may not always be the case that you was there to them, so just be mindful of that. Coming up to our end of lap 10, as you can see, we haven't really caught up to Lord Brilla all that much, and we are still behind a Ferrari. But now it's time for a tyre change. I am struggling to keep this car on the road, although I'm not on minor wear yet. When you usually are minor wear in this Lexus, it really does affect the way this rear end of this car behaves. Whilst we do have a few moments in the pit, I would like to thank our channel members, which are Andy Good, Jeffrey Anderson, DMC Motorsport Sigmatic, Daniel Adams, John Burns, AK47, and Uncle Boney. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. It's very much appreciated. While I'm exiting the pits, if you haven't done so already, just look down below and hit the subscribe button for us. It'd be very much appreciated as well. As you can see, we are in a nice long train. A few cars have chosen not to pit, so they're going to pit at the end of the next lap, more than likely. But we are inside the Ferrari, clapping cheeks with the Ferrari up front. Oh, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. It was just there. It only came in my head. Anyway, we have the Ferrari Lamborghini up behind right now, with two Ferraris up in front. Not having the best of exits, but I did choose to go for soft tyres, and I'm not sure if they'll make it or not, so I really do hope they do so, because I did manage to make the hard tyres last as long as they did. There's only 5 laps really on the soft that's going to be needed. So, and a bit of funkiness again up in front. Lord Abilla does turn in on Clapping Cheeks, and I don't think Clapping Cheeks was best impressed with the situation. Like I say, Lord Billa's, it's really hard to tell if the contact that they are having is intentional or not. They're literally like they're turning in like nobody's there, and then contact is made. So I really do feel that they're having a poor network issue, and they turn in and then it's a surprise attack moment. See what I mean? Look at that. What on earth? How is anyone meant to be able to judge what is going on there? Oh dear me. Poor Clapping Cheeks up in front is having a situation, so I'll give them a little bit of a boost. And well, I want them two to take each other out preferably, and then I can sneak my way through. I mean, that would be the best thing that could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. Do have Deadly Sins behind me with 2.75 second penalty, so I am a little bit nervous about what happened there to get themselves that kind of penalty. So I'm going to look up the inside here, get a contact from Deadly Sins behind, and they turn into me. Okay. Oh, and how is that my fault? Like, seriously, penalty system. I am on the outside turning right in the right-hander. The Lamborghini on the inside turning left in a right-hander, and somehow that is my fault with avoidable contact? Where would you expect me to go? You know, what on earth is that? I can only laugh at it really, because how you meant to plan an overtake when you have that? It's seriously like Back to the Future. You know, the person's hit 88 miles per hour and it's just skipping in time zones. I have no idea. UND Carlinos behind has a 2.25 second penalty, looking to make a move to the inside, but thankfully the Lexus has the legs, has the power to keep pushing through. Braking at the, well, it looks, by the looks of it, it was a camera crane. Down to third gear, coming through the section now, just a touch of the brakes here, rub that curb on the right, accelerating out of the corner onto the curb on the left hand side. I don't take this car too wide because it gets a bit upset with the curb on the left, but we do have the Lamborghini, it sounds quite good, trying to make a move, squeezing me a little bit, so I push him back to the right, trying to give myself a bit more room, managing to have a much better run, braking down the third gear, turning in, Lamborghini lunges up the inside, contact has been made, and by the looks of it, they've also gone into a wall. But let me know what you think about that incident down in the comments section below, and if you think it should be part of the Forza Stewards video collection. Anyway, coming down here, we are 0.8 seconds away from Clapping Cheeks, who has a 0.3 second penalty. I have a 0.5 second penalty thanks to an accident that was clearly my fault. Coming down here now, we have Crunch up in front, braking down to third gear. It's quite dicey braking there in this car. It can be a little bit funky at times. Look at the inside of Crunch, getting that move done. Crunch has backed out of the corner. I'm going to accelerate away and try and get a better exit to try and catch up to the slipstream of the car up in front, and also trying to break the slipstream from the car behind, because the last thing I want is them creeping up on me as well. As they're not getting away from me, so I'm going to tuck back into behind Clapping Cheeks. Get a nice little run up here, braking at the 400 meter board, down the third gear, turning in, and around the corner we go. Down the hill, looking on the left hand side for 100 meter board, braking just before it, down the third gear, turning in, accelerating out the other side. And thankfully we are 1 second away from Deadly Sins, who has still a 2.75 second penalty because they clearly did not get blamed for the incident that we had together. But to be fair, I think they also waited for me, so credit where credit's due. I wonder if they hit a bump here and had a bit of a funky moment whilst braking. It can be a little bit dicey braking there, especially when you're really hard braking like they might have been, because they did try and overtake. Anyway, clapping cheeks side by side, last lap. Want to see if we can make that move work. We have 2 tenths in it between me and them. I'm in front, I'm crossing that line. Is that enough for me to gain that position? Let's have a look right now. Come on, please. Ah, I needed to find another 2 tenths by the looks of it, because 16.53 149, 16.53 318 just wasn't enough with that penalty. Oh, that's ruthless. Anyway, on to the next race. We're going to Spa. Now, we're back in the Lexus again. The joyful toy car of twitchiness and lack of discipline is the best way to describe this car. It has a severe lack of discipline. We again not qualifying, starting off in position 14. And thankfully, no car spawned in front of us. So we break into this corner now, down in second gear. We are hopefully not going to be part of a sandwich. We are being part of a sandwich. That's the worst place to be. I'm not moving over for you, mate. Get back on the track yourself. I've got nowhere to go as well. So sometimes you have to back out. It's not for me to back out. Break in here, down to 5th gear, coming through, making it out the other side. That portion didn't make it. Oh, can I keep the power on? Yes, cutting through 2 cars there. Thank you to the Lexus. And it's a brute force of power. We are now in position 10. I have chosen again to go for the hard tyres. Whether that is the right play or not, I'm not too sure. Off the track, going through a little bit hot there. And around this corner we go. Thankfully, no penalty though. Can't really grumble at that. Not too sure what everybody's else's strategy is on for tyres. We're breaking down the second gear here, taking this corner nice and tight, and well, trying to stay tight anyway, and have a better line. The thing is, it's really hard to judge whether I should be able to keep up with the cars in front if they are also on hard tyres or if they're on medium tyres. You wouldn't expect to be keeping up with a car that's on medium tyres whilst you are on hard tyres. That level of expectation is quite low, although I'm not saying it's impossible. But the last thing you want to do is overdrive the car and put yourself in a situation which is quite easily done, and I've done it countless times without realising. But I did surrender that position to O spawns up in front that did have a better line in that corner. So I thought it's better to surrender and follow and have someone pull me through than it is to battle and result in a situation happening. And you do see they do have a better in corner ability than I do, but I do have brute force on my side. And also they have a 2.25 second penalty, which is quite chunky, considering we're only on lap 1. Coming around this corner now, just holding on for dear life through there. Looking on left and side for the 150 meter board, breaking down to second gear. Over the curb we go, and keeping it as tight and as fast as we can. A little bit of tail out happiness as we come out of the corner. It really is hard to keep this car planted at the lowest speeds. It really does like to spin up those back wheels. It has an incredible amount of power. We're starting lap 3. We are 0.3 seconds away from O spawns, and FMS Jamie behind is 4.3 seconds away. So we do have a nice bit of stale area, although I'd like this car to be just a touch faster. I should have took away probably a little bit more downforce. We're coming over the curbs here, going a little bit pixel over the line, giving me somehow a 0.5 second penalty for being a pixel over. It generally was a pixel over. And actually I think if anything I've lost time because those spawns is getting away. So yeah, it happens. It is what it is. I did go off track. And I think that is really the main crux of the penalty system. It's not human. So it does see that your wheels have gone over a pixel, and that is your hammering point, where you may find that in the real world with the real stewards, they might let that slide due to the fact of no time was gained, nobody was put in harm's way, and it is sometimes people do have a bit of a slide and go a bit wide, and you know, it's just not human. That's the thing. Coming wide here, over the line we go, and guess what? Oh, no penalty. Well, that's fair enough. Can't really grumble at that. Usually that is the corner you get the penalties on. It used to absolutely hammer you. Well, it hammered me anyway. I'm not too sure how everybody else had their luck, but I usually got railed there. Usually a good 0.6 second penalty, being a pixel over the line there. We have lost a substantial amount of time from the car up in front, which is not good to see. But they do have a 3.25 second penalty, which is good to see. Matthias J23, who's 3.2 seconds away, is slowly reeling us in, which is not always the best of signs. But again, they could also be on a different tyre strategy. And I wonder when the medium tyres are going to give up, because we are eating through these hard tyres. But they may end up pitting at the end of this lap or the end of the next lap. Because we have a 7-lap race, it is an odd number. So it is quite hard to predict when is the best time to pit if you're on a medium tyre strategy. But coming on to lap 5, we have gained a few places because everybody's in the pits. We are going to pit at the end of this lap, because by the looks of it, I don't think the tyres would last another 2 laps. I was tempted to try and run it right through, but we are only in position 4. The car up in front has a 4.6 second penalty. That's incredible. And position 1 has only a 0.5 second penalty, and the car behind, Reaper, has a 5.5 second penalty. So I definitely want to keep away from them, because I do not want to be a party of any of those penalties, or I'll presume they're contact penalties because of how large they are. Again, I could be incorrect, but oh dear me. Oh, thankfully, that's lucky. Oh, I've never actually gone off track there, not in that manner. Anyway, thankfully no penalty was awarded to me. I guess the stewards seem to like me at the moment, but this car is starting to be a little bit of a handful. Starting to feel a little bit like jelly. Trying to keep the tyres on the darker stuff. Braking into this corner now, 4th gear. Taking the line nice and tight forward. It does go wide, so I'm powering on as early as I can to try and get away from them. Coming onto the left hand side, looking for the curb. There it is, breaking down the 3rd gear. And Reaper is really caught up to me. Wow, they have a 7.75 second penalty. Where on earth did they find another 2 seconds? Getting a little bit nervous with them behind me. That is quite a penalty right there. I wonder if it's probably track cutting, more than likely, to gain that time back. They are being fair with me, giving me space. I'm going to keep on the left hand side, let them have that line. And by the looks of it, they are not able to pass the brute force of the Lexus. So they're going to have to wait behind me as I go through this corner. Now contact has been made, going off track. And I got a warning for avoidable contact and a 0.1 second for off track violation. How on earth is that even like remotely what happened in that situation? Like, I had to let off on that corner. They was behind. They contacted me because they're behind. It's not like I braked. And even if I did touch the brakes the tiniest little bit, it's expected in that corner, especially when you're on hard worn tires. And somehow that becomes my fault. Okay, well, you know, turn 10, you got some work to do. That's all I can say. And in defense of a lot of people, they did say some of the faster cars, like the different races and that lot, the penalties do seem to have not improved so much. I was quite lucky in the touring cars where it did look like it improved, whereas clearly right now in the faster GT3 racing, it's still as funky as ever. So I don't know where they got a 300% increase on data to be able to predict penalties like that. And they're saying they're using AI to predict penalties, which is probably they're using ChatGPT to write the code out. It wouldn't surprise me, because I'd understand if I brake tested the car behind, but I didn't, you know. So 9 times out of 10, if there's an accident from somebody behind hitting the car up in front, it's always the car behind's fault. But A, not leaving enough space, B, not planning, or whatever, you know. 9 times out of 10 is their fault, unless a person brake tests, and I wasn't on 100% brake. So, you know, whatever. Rant over, move on. 0.6 second penalty. We are doing quite well. We did choose to go for the soft tyres as we came out the pits, and we had 2 laps to go. We are on our final lap right now. Gunran has gone in position 7. I was actually hoping I'd catch up to Matthias J23 up in front, who has a 0.6 second penalty, just like myself, but I don't think that is going to happen. Thankfully though, we did gain quite a few places overall from the race, so we're not finishing off as bad as we started. But like I say, I did pick the car that has to be the biggest handful. And don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant car to drive, but it's definitely a car not attuned to cornering, but more attuned to brute force and power. But we do cross the line in position 7. Absolute brilliant race. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.